What's good, guys? It's Seth with SN22. So after SandBox fell over 30%, the bulls have stepped in and they are buying the dips and pushing the price higher. But can we see a possible sell the news event tomorrow when the alpha release is announced? Well, let's look at the charts. Let's look at SandBox, my short term, medium term, and end of bull run price targets for SandBox. As usual, since the market is ruled by short-term emotions, let's quickly look at the fear and greed index for the general market sentiment. So the index is currently sitting at 27, showing that there's still fear in the market. But like I have said multiple times on this channel, this is just part of the regular market cycle, right? Where we just go from fear to greed, fear to greed. We are currently fearful from all the news about the new variant, but we are human beings and we also have greed in us, right? So it is highly likely we will see a bounce from here, just as we've seen that in the past over here and over there, right? Now let's quickly look at Bitcoin and the logarithmic curves. So from the Bitcoin and logarithmic curves chart, we see that Bitcoin is at the moment trading in a very dangerous zone, right? In 2017, we touched this zone over here and we came back down in price, right? In 2013 or 2014, we did the same. We touched the top of that of the logarithmic curves, and then we came back down in price, right? In 2011, we did the same, right? We came back down in price, right? So be careful out there, guys, right? If Bitcoin doesn't get the momentum that it needs, right, over here to push higher, then we'll probably have Bitcoin drop in price again, right? So be careful out there, right? And keep in mind, if Bitcoin dumps, then every altcoin out there, including SandBox, will dump as well. Now let's look at SandBox from the lower time frame to the higher time frame. Starting with the forward chart, we see that SandBox is at the moment trading at $7.03, and it is also trading in this ascending channel pattern, right? And this ascending channel pattern is usually a bearish pattern, and it normally predicts that price will break below this trend line, the support line over here. It will break below that and push lower, right? The price target for this pattern is sitting at about $2.30, but I don't think we'll go that low, right? Because we are in a bull market, and I'm assuming that Bitcoin will at least trade sideways or push higher from here, right? So if Bitcoin trades sideways or push higher from here, then I think SandBox is much more likely, in case it breaks below this trend line over here, I think SandBox is much more likely to drop to the 3.618 Fibonacci extension level, or about $4.42, right? I think that's where it will get some support. From the VPVR, we see that there's a good amount of volume at this level, and I think it will probably hold it up a little bit. If it does not, then it will probably come back a little bit lower, right, to about $3, where it will get the major support, right? But let's look at the opposite side, right? So on the opposite side, if SandBox is able to break above this resistance line, so we see that SandBox is getting held by this resistance line over here, right? And it's also getting held by this big bar, this big volume bar on the VPVR, right? So if SandBox manages to break above that, break above this resistance line, then I believe SandBox will push higher to about maybe $10 from here, right? But now let's look at some indicators. Let's look at the RSI. From the RSI, we see a fight for dominance. As the bears in the market were selling, we see that the RSI was losing strength, right? But the bulls have stepped in and they are pushing prices higher. So if we're able to get a close on the RSI in this ascending channel pattern, then we could probably see a continuation of the very bullish upward trend for SandBox, right? But now let's look at the MACD. So from the MACD chart, we see that although we are gaining strength in the RSI, the MACD line, the blue line, is still below the signal line, right? So it is possible this reversal is not done, but from past history over here, we see that SandBox normally doesn't come, the MACD usually does not come all the way down over here. It normally just bounces back right over here, right? So hopefully it continues pushing higher. Otherwise, the reversal will probably not be done, and we could probably see more dump for SandBox. Let's look at the squeeze momentum. The squeeze momentum is also confirming the loss of momentum in the MACD, right? So we definitely need more people buying SandBox at the moment to continue the very bullish run for SandBox. From the daily chart, the ascending channel pattern it's still the most notable pattern on the chart, right? So there's no new information over here, and I'm not going to bore you with the same information. So for my medium-term price target for SandBox, if Bitcoin is able to push higher from here, then my medium-term bullish price target for SandBox is a retest of the $9 price level. And after we've retested that, then I think SandBox will shoot for $10, right? But if Bitcoin dumps from here, then my bearish price target for SandBox is sitting at the 2.618 Fibonacci extension level, or about $3.36. Now from the weekly chart, we see this giant hockey stick pattern on the chart for SandBox, right? And if you've watched my video for IoTex, where we see a whole bunch of hockey stick patterns on the chart, then you know that this pattern does not end well, right? We usually end up with a 50% dump and a very long consolidation after that, right? So be careful out there, guys, right? SandBox could drop to $4 from here, right? But now let's look at the RSI. The RSI, and from the RSI, we see that the RSI is currently at about 94. And even for an altcoin, this is too high. This is very high for even for an altcoin, right? So be careful out there, guys. We usually get the big reversals when the RSI is over 90, right? So we are definitely over 90 over here. So be careful out there. Now for my end of bull run price target for SandBox, I believe SandBox has a little bit more room to run. Using the logarithmic regression curves over here, and then the Fibonacci extension levels, I believe SandBox will hit the top around between $10 and $12, right? That will probably be the top for SandBox. But if Bitcoin gets an extended bull run, then we could probably see higher prices for SandBox, right? Now make sure to help our brother out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. My name is Seth, and I make crypto content that makes you more money. So if making more money with cryptos is something you are interested in, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications as well. And let me know what other coin you would like for me to cover in the comment section.